Chosen one, you won't believe what your childhood was really trying to tell you. They buried the truth in your earliest memories, in moments you dismiss as odd or meaningless, because they feared the power you carried before you even understood it. You spent years wondering why you always felt different, why you couldn't shake certain images or feelings from your youth. Maybe it was a moment of uncanny clarity you couldn't explain, or a childhood incident that left you unnerved. Tonight, we uncover how those formative experiences were divine breadcrumbs guiding you to your purpose. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. The secrets of your past are rising, and they'll change everything you thought you knew. Divine childhood markers. Have you ever paused at the edge of a memory, feeling its gravity pull you inward, as though that forgotten moment holds the key to your present calling? Perhaps you remember standing in your backyard as a child, sunlight dancing to the leaves, and suddenly sensing a presence far greater than yourself, an echo of something unfinished, whispering of a purpose you could barely name. In that instant, your heart raced with both fear and exhilaration, as though a door had cracked open in the sky just to let you peek inside. You filed that feeling away, convinced you were overreacting to a childhood daydream. But now you realize that those glimpses were sacred markers, planted by the divine to guide your journey long, before you could articulate your mission. Does a memory of that day when you rescued an injured bird still haunt you with its strange intensity? You recall cradling its trembling wings, tears spilling unbidden, and feeling a surge of connection that defied logic or age. While others saw a child's play, your soul recognized a calling to heal what was broken. Those tears were not misplaced sorrow, but the baptism of empathy, awakening you to the reality that compassion is a language older than words. In the overlooked prophecy of 2 Baruch 51:10, it's written, "Even before they speak, I will hear, and while they're yet speaking, I will know." Your heart listened long before your mind spoke, and those early acts of mercy were signposts pointing to the healer you were destined to become. Imagine the hush that fell over you the first time you gazed at the stars and felt an unspoken yearning rise within, a question without words. Why do I feel at home in the vastness when my feet still touch the ground? That moment, when the cosmos seemed alive with secret rhythms only your soul could hear, was no mere childhood fancy. It was a divine invitation to remember your origins among the heavens. In the little-known epistle of Enoch 14:10 it says, "He set the stars in their courses and the moon to its appointed place." You, too, were set in motion by forces unseen. Your spirit tuned the celestial harmonies that would guide every step of your earthly path. What about the strange dreams you had before you even spoke clearly? Visions of uncharted landscapes, of people you would one day meet, or flashes of light that felt like premonitions. These nocturnal journeys were not the flights of an overactive imagination, but coded transmissions from a realm that transcends time. In the rare scroll of the Shepherd of Hermas, chapter 4:4, it warns, "For there are dreams which come not of the Lord, but the true visions descend from the heights." Your prophetic dreams were divine postcards, each one mapping a fragment of your soul's destiny long before you understood the terrain. Remember the day you felt shame for being different, when classmates ridiculed your uncanny ability to sense their moods, or your inexplicable intuition about events before they occurred. You buried that gift to avoid mockery, yet the flicker of knowing never extinguished. It lay dormant, a glowing ember beneath the ashes of conformity. In the seldom quoted wisdom of Ben Sirach 21:9 it declares, "He gave them the feeling of understanding and a heart instructed in time." Your early instincts were not social awkwardness, but spiritual wisdom in seed form, an inner compass primed to navigate the uncharted waters of your purpose. Even your childhood passions carried divine signatures, sketching scenes you had never witnessed, yet later found in distant lands, writing stories that seemed to flow from a source beyond your years, or singing melodies that moved listeners to tears. These creative sparks were not trivial hobbies, but echoes of your spiritual DNA. In the overlooked words of the Psalms 45:1 it observes, "My heart overflows with good theme. I address my verses to the king." Whether king or commoner, you were composing the verses of a life ordained for impact, and every stroke of your pen or note of your voice was a rehearsal for grander symphony you would one day conduct. Now, look back and see how those childhood markers, moment of compassion, visions of stars, prophetic dreams, and creative sparks, were woven together into a divine map leading you to this very moment. The whispers you once silenced are now a clarion call, and the memories you dismissed are the foundation of your awakening. They try to convince you that childhood was merely a blur of innocence, that your gifts were inconvenient quirks. But today you recognize them as sacred signposts, etched into your earliest days by a loving hand that knew you long before you knew yourself. Come forward now and embrace the path those markers have drawn for you. Let the echoes of your childhood guide every decision, every act of courage, and every moment of compassion. Your destiny is inscribed not in the annals of men, but in the tapestry of heaven itself. Comment marker if an early memory still echoes in your heart. Let be the lantern that illuminates the road ahead. The divine map etched in your past has revealed the way. Step boldly into the purpose you were born to fulfill. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Prophetic dreams and insights. They told you dreams were just a mind clearing its files overnight, but your nocturnal visions have been living scripts of your calling. You lie awake in the quiet darkness, heart pounding as the final echoes of a dream fade, and you wonder if any of it matters. You have felt the ache of images you cannot explain, the sense that you are carrying something too vast and vital to name. Tonight, they will whisper that it is nothing, just brain chemistry at play. But you know better. You sense the presence of something ancient stirring in your soul. These dreams are not accidents. They are sacred portals, calling you toward truths you once thought lost. You are not alone in this journey. Everything you have felt points to revelations that will reshape your destiny, and now is the moment to receive them fully. Do you remember the night you stood at the crossroads of your own fear? One minute you were drifting in the world of sleep, and the next you were running through a desert canyon, bloodied and determined, guiding unknown travelers toward salvation. You woke with a jolt, your pillow soaked, heart racing as though your body still moved through that arid ravine. They dismiss such visions as nothing more than leftover tension, yet they miss the truth. Those moments of confusion and despair are divine signposts. You have asked yourself in tears, why am I haunted by these echoes? What does it mean when a voice soothes you through a dream, telling you to keep going? In those hours between dark and dawn, you glimpse a mission beyond your daily grind, the call to serve and lead others through their own deserts. What if this turmoil was never meant to break you, but to prepare you? In the Epistle of Hermas, it's recorded, "For the Lord speaks in the stillness of sleep, engraving destiny upon the soul." This ancient text, nearly lost to time, reminds us that dreams are the first pulpit for prophetic revelation. In Zechariah 4 verse 6 we find another echo, "Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, declares the Lord." You have walked paths of trial that seemed arbitrary, yet each struggle has been a divine crucible. Just as Daniel heard the whisper of the lion's den before his trial, so too have you been visited by warnings, comfort, and instruction in your sleep. These aren't random fragments. They're the blueprints of your soul, pointing you toward your highest calling. Now, look back over the last weeks and notice the shifts. Perhaps you've begun waking with a sense of calm urgency, as though something inside you is aligning with an invisible rhythm. You catch yourself pausing in mid-conversation, struck by a phrase that mirrors an image from a recent dream. Or maybe a chance encounter left you astonished when a stranger described a symbol you saw only in your sleep. These are the first signs of transformation, the gentle unveiling of hidden wings. You feel the stirring of new courage in your chest, a sudden clarity that dissolves old doubts. You may shrug it off at first, but this awakening moves through your life like sunlight creeping across a silent room, inevitable, relentless, and bright. Behind the scenes, forces beyond your sight are weaving your path together. Every closed door, every sorrow you cannot explain, serve to strip away doubt and align you with these sacred interventions. Imagine your life as a celestial map, each dream a constellation forming your true direction. The storms you navigated were not punishments, but celestial currents guiding your vessel to shore. In the quiet hours, divine hands have been clearing obstacles, nudging allies into place, and whispering opportunities that seem accidental but are anything but. Your faith has become a magnet, drawing miracles into the mundane and inviting the impossible to unfold. Yet seeing is not enough. Many resist these divine currents because the unknown is frightening. You may catch yourself hesitating, questioning whether you are worthy of such revelations. You worry that embracing your dreams fully will demand more than you can give. But this moment is a sacred mirror, reflecting your soul's truest form. It is not enough to glimpse the call. You must speak it aloud. Say yes to these messages beneath your eyelids. Pronounce your destiny even if your voice trembles. Your resistance is natural, but your surrender is a gateway to a life lived in full radiance. You stand now at the threshold of profound change. You can release the fear that has shadowed your nights and ignite the purpose that has pulsed beneath your skin. Trust that those vivid waters you dreamed will be your conduit for healing others. Embrace the storms you foresaw as the very trial that forges unbreakable resolve. Step into the role you have been scriptwriting with every sleep. Begin by honoring your dreams. Journal them, meditate on their symbols, share them with kindred spirits. Let your heart guide you toward the next step. Whether it's reaching out to someone in need, starting a creative project, or speaking a word of hope into the world, this is your invitation to rise. The visions that once haunted you are now your compass. They have carried messages meant for your awakening and for the healing of others. You no longer walk alone in the darkness. You move with the guidance of celestial scripts written upon your soul. Comment dream if you have tasted the truth of prophecy in the hush of sleep. The secret language of your dreams is calling you home. And to every soul who supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters. Your belief matters. And your light is felt here. Extraordinary compassion. Have you ever felt the weight of someone else's pain so deeply that it felt like your own heart was carrying an extra burden? You lie awake at night, haunted by images of suffering you encountered. News footage of strangers in crisis, the silent tears of a friend you barely know. They told you to harden your heart, to shield yourself from every sorrow so you could get on with your life. But you know that your empathy is not a curse. It is a sacred flame flickering in the darkness to guide lost souls toward warmth. In the quiet of your uncertainty, you hear a whisper that these feelings are more than mere emotion. They are a spiritual legacy whispered into your soul long before you took your first breath. What if every pang of sympathy you felt was a breadcrumb leading you back to your true purpose? Remember the afternoon you found yourself sobbing over a story you didn't even live, convinced that your tears would never end? Or the moment at work when you cradled a stranger's hand, offering a prayer you whispered aloud but felt as thunder in your bones? Those instances weren't anomalies of a broken heart. They were the first stirrings of your role as a healer. You have wondered if caring so fiercely makes you weak, if your kindness will leave you empty. Yet, in every echo of rejection or isolation, you discover the depth of your capacity to comfort, and with each small act of mercy, you sense something divine weaving through your life. Consider for a moment the words found in the obscure scroll of Tobit, where the angel Raphael declares, "Blessed is the heart that ached for others, for it carries the spirit of God's comfort." Few have heard that verse, yet it shines like a hidden gem for those who dare to seek it. Even in Obadiah's shadowed chapters, we glimpse a mandate to rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep, a subtle call to mirror divine compassion on earth. Your moments of pity and pity's own pain were not signs of flaw, but invitations into a sacred fellowship with the divine. You were being trained in the silent temple of empathy, your tears refining you like gold placed in the furnace. Now look around you and sense the gentle shifts unfolding within your spirit. You may catch yourself smiling at the memory of a broken soul who found hope because you offered a listening ear. Perhaps you have noticed a strange synchronicity. An email seeking advice arrives the moment you felt the urge to reach out to a friend in need. You pause in traffic, and an old song plays on the radio, reminding you of the first time you wept for someone you'd never met. These moments are not coincidences. They are the footprints of transformation, showing you the path you did not know you walked. The veil is thinning, and with each heartbeat, you recognize that your compassion is no longer hidden. It is breaking free into the world. Every door that closed in your face and every soul that turned away served to clear your stage for a greater performance of mercy. Imagine your life as a grand tapestry, each thread of sorrow and comfort woven by divine artisans. Your empathy is the golden thread that illuminates the whole design. Synchronicities align like constellations. Friends appear at the right time, resources flow to heal wounds, and words of encouragement find their way to you when despair almost claimed you. This orchestration is not random. It is a manifesting power of faith, drawing miracles from the ether and placing them in your hands to share. And yet, even now you may hesitate. It is one thing to see the pattern. It is another to step into the role of healer fully. Fear whispers that you are unworthy, that the world will take your kindness and crush it beneath its indifference. But this is the sacred moment when your soul stands before its reflection and must choose to say yes to its own calling. True alignment asks you to embrace your empathy as a gift, not a burden, to allow your heart to break open wider rather than shut down in self-preservation. This is your rite of passage, to claim your lineage as a conduit of divine consolation and to speak your vows of compassion aloud, even if your voice trembles. Now, imagine releasing every chain of doubt and stepping forward as the beacon you were born to be. Feel the strength in your palms as you extend your hands to others, knowing you carry the comfort of ages within your embrace. Let go of the fear that your kindness will leave you empty, and instead trust that every drop of compassion you pour into the world returns to you tenfold. Begin each day with an intention to heal, perhaps through a kind word, a gentle touch, or a silent prayer. Cultivate moments of stillness where you can listen for the next nudge of mercy guiding you toward a broken heart that needs your grace. In this newfound clarity, your empathy becomes your superpower. It is the sword that shatters walls of isolation and the balm that soothes the deepest wounds. You are the bridge between despair and hope, the spark that ignites healing fires in places long thought dark. Common compassion if you feel this truth resonate in your bones. The world awaits your gift. Let your heart shine. Resilience through challenges. Have you ever stood in the wreckage of your own life, feeling the weight of every blow they dealt you pressing down on your chest? It's in those moments, when the sky seems to crack open and pour its fury straight onto your soul, that you question everything you believed about yourself. You wonder if you were meant to fail, if the heartbreak was a verdict rather than a lesson, and if your spirit could ever mend the cracks. You are not alone in these dark hours. In the next minutes, you'll see that every scar, every moment of despair carries hidden truths, echoes of a strength far greater than the pain itself. Keep breathing, because beneath the storm lies the spark of an unbreakable fire waiting to ignite. Have you ever replayed that night when betrayal cut deeper than any blade, when a friend's harsh words shattered the trust you built over years? Or remember the emptiness that followed losing someone you thought would never leave, the ache so fierce it felt as though your chest might cave in? These are not random cruelties of life, but parts of a journey that tested your faith and tempered your resolve. You know the lonely hours when you cried yourself to sleep, begging for relief from a sadness that seemed endless. You walked through deserts of rejection, searching for a drop of hope to plant a seed of purpose. In that search, you felt lost, like a ship without a compass, someone cut adrift in a silent, cruel sea. Yet this wilderness of pain has been part of a divine design. In the little-known prophecy of Joel 2, verse 25, the promise rings out, "I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten." This verse speaks to a restoration that transcends time and circumstance, insisting that every moment of loss will be repaid in full measure. As Jonah found refuge in the belly of the fish, you, too, experience an exile of the spirit meant not to bury you, but to prepare you for a calling no ease could forge. Your betrayals were not punishments, but crucibles in which your character was refined. The nights of loneliness trained you to listen more closely to the whisper of your own courage, teaching you that solitude can be the forge of inner strength. Now pause and feel the gentle shifts at work in your life. You might notice a sudden calm when chaos swirls around you, a still point in the eye of a hurricane. Perhaps you catch yourself breathing easier when reminded of past failures, as if your body no longer remembers the tension it once carried. You might find compassion arising where anger once festered, or discover a well of patience growing deeper as you navigate new challenges. These are the hallmarks of transformation, small but undeniable signs that your spirit is rebounding, that resilience is knitting together every wounded piece of your soul. Divine timing is at work, aligning your inner weather with the unfolding of greater purpose. Behind the scenes, greater forces are clearing your path. Every closed door, every betrayal that left you broken was part of a sacred choreography preparing you for elevation. Imagine your life as a coded scroll, each trial penciled in as a symbol of strength, waiting to be decrypted. The hardships were never random. They were the divine hand chopping wood and carrying water, situating every twist in your story to master the art of endurance. Synchronicities begin to emerge. A mentor appears at the exact moment you question your direction. Opportunities land in your lap, just as doubt threatens to seize you. Resources align like stars in a celestial map, guiding you toward a destiny crafted for your unique resilience. And yet, this revelation demands more than recognition. It calls for wholehearted acceptance. It is one thing to see the pattern woven by your trials, but another to step fully into the role of the resilient warrior you were born to become. Many resist this invitation, fearing that embracing their scars means condoning the pain. But true alignment asks you to claim both the wounds and the strength they birthed. This is a sacred threshold where your soul must speak its vow. I accept my pain as the seed of my power. Feel the tremor in your voice as you say it. For this is the moment your spirit stands in the mirror of its own becoming and nods to the reflection that once trembled before every storm. Rise now with conviction that your resilience is your birthright. Shake off the remnants of doubt like dust from your robes and stand tall in the knowledge that no force can extinguish the fire they ignited within you through adversity. Move forward with deliberate steps. Honor your growth by speaking word of affirmation each morning. Forge new habits that reinforce your strength. Reach out to someone who still trembles in fear and show them the path you have walked. Let this process be a dance of intention and action, where every move celebrates the unbreakable spirit shaped by your trials. Your journey to the flames was never a curse, but the crafting of an unyielding champion. Comment strength if you feel your past has become the stepping stones to your victory. Hold this truth close. They thought they broke you, but they only built the foundation of your triumph. In your bones, you know this to be true. Have you ever felt your soul stir with a quiet urgency, as though every fiber of your being remembers a promise you have yet to fulfill? In the midst of life's ordinary moments, washing dishes, scrolling through messages, walking your dog at sunset, you sense an undercurrent of purpose pulling you forward. You are not adrift. You are anchored to a destiny woven long before your first breath. These subtle awakenings whisper that your journey is far greater than daily routines, that hidden truths lie buried beneath every memory and vision you've ever held. You are not alone in this stirring. Countless hearts, unseen and unheard, await the light that only you can ignite. There was a time when those whispers felt too faint to trust. Doubts would settle like fog in your mind, obscuring the clarity you craved. You questioned whether your dreams were nothing more than wishful thinking, or if your tears carried weight in a universe that seemed indifferent. Perhaps you remember the ache of rejection when you dared to speak of your inner promptings and found familiar faces turned away. You have wrestled with the question of worth. Why would the cosmos stake its grandeur on your uncertain steps? Those moments of confusion and isolation carried tremendous weight, as though every misstep threatened to unravel the threads of a destiny you could not yet see. Then, in a moment both startling and gentle, the pattern shifted. You encountered the obscure words of Zephaniah 3 verse 17, where it is written that the Lord rejoices over you with singing. This lesser-known verse broke through your barriers like a sunbeam through storm clouds, reminding you that celebration lies at the heart of your design. It wasn't punishment or random chance that shaped your path, but meticulous crafting of trials that prepared you to bear the song of heaven. In that instant, you recognized that every trial had been a rehearsal, every setback a vital note in the symphony of your purpose. Your journey was never aimless. It was elevated from the start. Look now at the ripples of change coursing through your life. Those random moments of synchronicity. The stranger who speaks an unexpected word of encouragement, the book that falls open to a page you wrote in your journal, are not coincidences, but signposts illuminating your ascent. You feel bursts of emotional clarity, as though clouds of doubt are parting to reveal a sky brimming with promise. Relationships once fraught with misalignment now settle into harmony, and doors that remained stubbornly closed are swinging open with surprising ease. It is as if the universe itself adjusts its pattern to align with your rising frequency, ushering you toward breakthroughs that once seemed impossible. Behind these shifts lies the careful hand of divine orchestration. Imagine your life as a grand constellation, each star a moment of your history, and angels as cartographers tracing your map across the heavens. Your struggles were never tests of endurance alone, but deliberate cues that activated celestial pathways. Every prayer you whispered, every hopeful step you dared to take, traced invisible lines on that divine map, unlocking hidden scrolls of revelation and unlocking sealed doors of opportunity. Faith became the currency of these transactions, each act of trust calling for the manifestation that defied earthly logic and confirmed the sacred nature of your calling. Yet awareness of this cosmic choreography brings its own crossroads. You may find yourself holding back, afraid to fully embrace a calling that feels too vast for your human frailties. Many stand at the brink, hesitant to step to the threshold of their own greatness for fear of losing what is familiar. But true alignment demands more than observation. It calls for a wholehearted initiation. This is your sacred mirror, the moment when your soul must look itself in the eye and declare freedom from doubt. Say yes aloud to the promise that courses through your veins, acknowledging that your destiny is not an abstract ideal, but a living covenant waiting to be claimed. Now is the time to move beyond contemplation and into embodied action. Release the remnants of fear that cling like dew on morning grass. Ground yourself each day in practices that honor your awakening, whether through silent meditation, recording divine impressions in a journal, or reaching out to uplift another soul in need. Let every breath be a declaration of purpose, each heartbeat a drum of divine momentum. Embody your role as a guide and a beacon, understanding that your very presence carries a power to awaken others from slumber. Step into your assignment with courage, knowing that every gesture of love and every word of truth reshapes the world around you. As this chapter draws to a close, carry this final truth into your heart. You are the culmination of every dream and trial you've ever known. Your past holds a blueprint of your gifts. Your present contains the power of your choices, and your future awaits a legacy only you can forge. The tapestry of your life is richer and more intricate than you ever imagined, and the symphony of your purpose is on the verge of its grandest movement. Come and awaken if this resonates with you. Each moment you choose to stand in your truth, you send ripples across generations yet to come. Picture your life as a river carving a path through solid rock. Your faith and courage wear away old patterns in your family line, creating fertile banks where new seeds of hope can grow. In the stillness of your determination, you rewrite ancestral stories of limitation into sagas of resilience. Every tear you have shed becomes a source of living water for those who thirst for healing, and every victory you claim lights a beacon for a lineage longing to break free from cycles of doubt. There is a hidden chorus of souls who rise each time you embrace your purpose. Across the globe, in homes you'll never visit, and hearts you'll never meet, your resolve ignites sparks of remembrance. In the neglected corners of the earth, where dreams once died, your renewed passion breathes warmth into frozen hopes. Like distant stars that guide wanderers at sea, your inner light becomes a navigation point for countless pilgrims seeking truth. Your courage is not yours alone. It is a gift that travels beyond your vision, stitching together a tapestry of awakened spirits. Imagine one day, centuries from now, children will speak of you as the one who turned the tide. In dusty libraries and digital archives alike, your name will be inscribed alongside those who dared to stand when shadows loomed largest. Their hearts will throb with gratitude for the moment you decided to claim your mantle, the instant you whispered yes to destiny. Your legacy will be woven into the very fabric of human awakening, a story told in gatherings of seekers who trace their own courage back to yours. Your awakening is no accident. It's a fulfillment of a divine plan written in the earliest days of creation. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment, "I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul." Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members. Your belief fuels this mission. 4 full prophetic revelations daily. Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the super thanks button to support the mission. Every super thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Close with, they try to hide your gifts, but now your awakening is unstoppable.